Okay. How's it going, everybody? I hope you're having a great afternoon. Looks like this thing needs to be refreshed. There we go. So I've got two spinny wheels up on the screen today because this week we're going to do something a little different than what we've been doing. We are going to draw monsters wearing Halloween costumes. And the way we're going to do that is by spinning to get a monster and then spinning to get a costume. And these are not the same costumes that we have on our normal costume list that we've been working off of. No. Monsters don't dress like monsters for Halloween. Monsters dress like people for Halloween. So, good afternoon, Paramin. Hope you're doing great today. So what we've got here is a special wheel of monster costumes for monsters to be dressed as people for Halloween. So first and foremost, we are going to find out what monster we're drawing first. And we'll go ahead and spin the monster wheel first. So let's do it. Let's see what we're drawing. And I've got a Cyclops. Cyclops is going first. All right, and what is our Cyclops going to be dressed as? A Cyclops dressed as a farmer. Boo-doo-boo-boo-doo-doo. All right, so let's do it. Let's do a Cyclops dressed as a farmer. I keep ending up in studio mode without intending to. So I keep forgetting to hit the transition to turn things off. Okay, so we've got a Cyclops farmer. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Let's start with a little ground plane action. Like so. And Cyclopses are pretty big sized guys. Big blocky dudes. So we're going to do a big blocky dude, a lot of rectangular shape language, and one big eye. If you look underneath my face where the chat usually is, you will see I have a list of the monsters that are on the spinny wheel. I am more than willing, of course, to always add new monsters to the spinny wheel. But my plan for this today is to kind of keep it a little generic on the monsters, but also like maybe a little bit D&D themed monster-ish. And I do have some aliens on here, little green men and classic gray aliens, because those were specifically added to the list before when the theme was being developed by the person who recommended it. And I would be happy to draw them, but if they come up, I think we're going to do them as their own thing and not part of the sticker pack. The reason for that is because I'm a giant D&D nerd, and a lot of people who buy stuff from me are also giant D&D nerds, and I think a D&D monster sticker pack would be a fun thing for the entire audience to access. One big eye. This guy's a little too big, maybe, so I'm going to shrink him down. Recenter him. Let's see. How do we say farmer? Well, I think a straw hat is definitely part of the farmer outfit. Some overalls. Give him a lot of the same clothes coating as my scarecrow sticker. I think that's a big part of it. Pitchfork is probably a big part of being a farmer in like a medieval fantasy setting. So we'll do one big old hand over here, down like this. I actually kind of like the idea of this Cyclops dressing like a farmer with a pitchfork, because that's something that's scary to the Cyclops. So like, I think that's our basic rough shape language on this. I do want to like big ol' honker feet. And I think this Cyclops is going to be barefoot also. So we'll start with that as our basic real rough shape language. Just a big old chonky dude with kind of like a dumb grin. So let's go with the eye first. Something like this. And a little nose coming out from underneath. A little grin. Actually, you know what? Let's go full cartoony. Something like that. Maybe some monster teeth along the bottom. That looks pretty cool. Little cute. Pretty cute there. Big old ears. All right. If this dude showed up at your house and said trick or treat, you would totally give him all the candy. And you would be right to do so. Come in here like this. I think a little more round on this hat is needed. Little hat band. Like that. Maybe give him a little collar action. Here. Like so, coming down into his overalls. Like this. So that side would come up like that. Arm. Like I said, big old giant hands. You know, for appropriately throwing rocks at adventurers. And let's face it, most adventurers deserve to have rocks thrown at them. I don't know how many games you've run in your life. I mean, I know Pearman has run a lot of games in his life, but anyone else who's watching this, I don't know how many games you've run, how many times you've been a DM. But I'm guessing that if it's more than once or twice, you know full well, like I do, that most of the time an adventurer deserves to have rocks thrown at them. The monsters are on the right usually here. They a few, yeah. The adventurers deserve it. It's very rare for an adventurer to not be some kind of jerk face monster. Okay, I think 6 is too many times actually. So I was gonna give this pitchfork 3 because that's like the classic pitchfork shape, but I don't want it to come across as a like trident. I want it to definitely be a pitchfork. So I think I'm gonna go with 5. So we'll do like 1 there, 1 there, and then 1 halfway between. You can tell I am definitely not a farmer because I don't know anything about pitchforks. I don't know how many tines a pitchfork has. That's the kind of labor I avoid. That's why I doodle on the internet. Bring it down like this. fact, I had to start working on some new gaming stuff soon. Sounds like I'm going to be taking over DMing for a little while in our group, which is fine. This is a truth that I find to be self-evident, is that as much as us forever DMs like to claim about being forever DMs, or to complain about being forever DMs, the truth is we really like being DMs. Like, it's our thing. And so when your DM complains, they're not serious. What they really just need is some reassurance that you're enjoying their game and have fun playing with them. For the most part, it's one of those like imposter syndrome things kicking in, and they just need some love, and care, the proper feeding of a dungeon master. It's an important skill to develop, the proper maintenance. We're like betas that you can get at Walmart, the little fighting fish. We totally 100% are supposed to be hyper resilient, and we can be hyper resilient, but we do need to be taken care of because we'll also injure ourselves in our own confusion. Okay. I like this little guy. He's a good start to the day. Cyclops is a fun way to start the day. So let's get him drawn fully inked in here. So we'll just bring the nose up so it comes around over the eye a little more, make it look a little more nosy. Pun intended. And then I'm gonna bring this eye around like this a bit more, so it's a little more circular. Clean that off. And then this brow down. When your entire brow has to work also as your eyelid, then your mechanics are weird in your face, Cyclops. Alright. I want to give him big cheeks because he's got a big old giant smile. Because you have to ask yourself, if a Cyclops is dressed up for Halloween, what does that mean about that Cyclops? And I think that means that is a child Cyclops. Like, I don't think adult Cyclopses, Cyclopians, I don't think adult Cyclopses dress up for Halloween. So this is just a little kiddo Cyclops. So he's gonna have chubby little kiddo cheeks. And I gotta tell you, little Cyclops kid, if you come to my house for Halloween, well, you probably won't get anything because there's no kids that trick or treat in my neighborhood, so I probably won't have any Halloween candy. But if I knew you were coming, I'd give you a full-size candy bar. Cyclopes. That's how, you know what? That's how you are you should always give out full-size candy bars if you can afford to, because that's how you get the Cyclops kid in your neighborhood to protect your house. And when the other kids are like, we're going to egg a house, the Cyclops kid will be like, not that one. And all the other kids will listen because Cyclops kid is like 11 foot tall in second grade. I went to school with a kid who, he wasn't 11 foot tall, but he was like 6'2" in fourth grade. and kind of his height, he got his full height was 6'5", and he was his full height by the end of our 6th grade year of middle school. So he was kind of a ginormous dude for a lot of school. And then 6'4" is very tall still, but by the time we all caught up to him, he was no longer freakishly tall, just, tall. And honestly, at my high school, 6 foot wasn't uncommon. I'm 6'1", and most of my friends are actually taller than I am. So by the time we all caught up to him, he was like a normal sized person. There are times actually when I've gone out into the world and forgot how tall I actually am because of how much taller most of my friends are than me. And it was a little bit of a culture shock when I moved to Montana, because the average height of a Montanan is like, I don't know, 3 foot something. They're all very short people. So it was a little culture, I guess not necessarily culture shock, but a little weird going from being a person who often forgot how tall I was because of how tall everyone around me was, to being like a literal giant. One of the things that used to be one of my roles when I worked the front desk at the Department of Revenue was if a taxpayer was in with someone and they were getting a little too aggressive maybe in their behavior, they would have me just walk into the room like carrying a stack of paper, because I was just physically large enough that my presence made most people calm down. Like take a step back and go, oh, they have a big giant dude here. And people who know me know that I like have very little in the way of practical combat skills. Like, sure, I know how to swing a sword, but how's that really going to serve you in life? You know what I mean? But being giant definitely has some advantages at times. And that was one of those situations where I would just be physically large enough to be imposing. And that actually happened. There were a couple of times, even after I was no longer working on that staff or on the front desk at all, that I would get called just to come downstairs. Like what members of that team would call me and be like, hey, can you come down here real fast? And I'd be like, sure, because when you work in communications, you're either in a meeting or you have free time. There's very little otherwise. So I would just go down there and they'd be like, thanks. And basically they'd just be calling me down so that I would get off the elevator as a giant dude and walk into a situation where someone was being a little too loud and a little too aggro. And I told someone at the market where I work the other day, or where I do sales, I was like, I can do that here too. If you have someone who's being overly aggro, like I can't actually do anything about it, mind you, but you could just call me over, and I have found that just my physical presence sometimes can escalate a situation. And I was like, and I guarantee you, if you call both myself and the assistant manager of the market over, like the two of us just standing there, probably physically imposing enough that most people will calm down. The difference being that I think our assistant manager could probably actually do something about it. But let that be a lesson for you. If you're ever taking a conflict resolution class, remind them to never downplay the value of just having a big person around. Okay, so this is our little Cyclops in a farmer costume. I think he came out okay. His feet are a little weird for me, but I like them. Feet are not my strong suit. I don't like human feet. I have a thing. I get made fun of sometimes for it, but I don't like feet at all. And pretty much the only time my feet are naked is if I'm in the shower or if I've taken my socks off after I fell asleep. Right? That's kind of how I feel. I'm like, I think that there's going to be most situations where our intimidation check is going to be good enough to resolve a situation. Not that comes up very often, to be completely honest. Like, the people that come to our market are actually really cool. I wouldn't count yourself out there, though, Paramin. Like, you can definitely make a face that would put someone, slow them down in their tracks. So. I think I want kind of a yellow hat, and I like to use my nacho yellow, but that means that this orange on the skin color is a little too orange for that. So I'm just going to bring a little bit more pink into it. Kind of like a little more Oni in this ogre. Or this Cyclops. That was backstabby little roguey type. I'm only intimidating someone if I've already got the drop on them. Oh. Maybe that's true, but you, like many people in the family, have resting psychopath face. Oh, I missed a part of Cyclops skin that needs to be oranged up there. Okay. There we go. I like this little dude. I think he looks good. This is a fun little Cyclops farmer. Let's put some shading into it and see if we can't finish off more than one of these today, or more than two of these. Let's see if we can get 3 done today and 2 on Wednesday. That's an entire Saturday, or Saturday. It's an entire Friday dedicated that we can do basically whatever we want on the stream. So, worth giving it a shot, seeing what we can get done. I also I did not do this on purpose. I promise. Have to run to the store and grab something. Okay. Safe trip. I did not purposefully do this when I was drawing the little farmer hat. But I have definitely given this Cyclops straw hat pirate style straw hat. I did want it to be a straw hat, but I was not intending to make it exactly like Luffy's hat. That was not the intention. So it's just a little happy accident. I'm not upset by it at all, is what I'm saying. It happened, and I'm okay with that. But I don't want people to think I was some kind of genius who did it on purpose, because I'm not that clever. All right. I think I'm going to do the hand shades a little differently here. And probably also on this arm. come up here like this on the arm and clean that off like that. All right. Okay. I like that. Let's go ahead and turn this multiply so we can see. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. You're a good looking Cyclops farmer dude. So I'm just going to come in and draw some shadows on the feet. Like this. Cross like this. There we go. That looks pretty good. I don't mind that at all. Go ahead and let's just fill that in, shall we? Like that. And then pull a little bit back, maybe? Nah, that doesn't. That's not going to be a detail that reads well as the sticker size print. Bring that up like there. Oops, not mask. And we'll just do this whole side of the foot over here like this. Do 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 do. So, one of the things I love about different monsters in D&D. I'm going to talk about that. Yeah, that's right. You're down a rabbit hole now. There's a lot of giant type creatures in Dungeons and Dragons that are all very similar in like basically like what you use them for as a DM. And Cyclopses are one of those that just kind of falls into like, oh, it's a giant dude with one eye. Whoa. And I feel I couldn't see the live, so I thought something came up. I searched YouTube Insta and finally took the scenic route through Facebook. Oh man, I'm sorry. So I put a bunch of monsters on a list, and I put a bunch of costumes on a list. So the first one is Cyclops Farmer. You can see the monsters underneath me on the screen, but that's. I'm sad to hear that YouTube didn't at least tell you I was going live, because I definitely told it to. I put the aliens. So I put the aliens on the list of monsters. But if we roll an alien, we're not going to count it as part of the sticker pack. And the reason for that is because I kind of came up with this idea of using the sticker pack to do D&D monsters. Although there are definitely some D&D monsters that are inspired by both classic Greys and Little Green Men. But there we go. There is our Cyclops Farmer. I think he looks great. And I really, and like I said, if I have fun drawing a character, I think people will have fun sticking it on there, whatever they stick it on. And when this is so what I was saying about Cyclops is Cyclopi, Cyclopodies, is that they're one of these things that I feel like doesn't get enough love in the Monsters Manual. Like, they're just big jump brutes in the Monsters Manual, and it makes me really sad because the mythology that the Cyclops comes from, like, there is an entire Cyclops culture that all comes like separate, not even just from the Odyssey, but like there's a Cyclops culture, and that needs to be addressed more. They're shepherds, which makes it weird that this guy's dressed as a farmer for Halloween, because farmer and shepherd are very closely related professions. Yeah, I don't know why YouTube didn't have it today. But this guy just makes me happy. I really do like what I've done here, and I'm going to actually fill in this mouth, I think, and make it black because it'll read better as a sticker. Love a good Cyclops. The one in Hercules wasn't dumb, if I recall. Right? So the Cyclops in the Odyssey isn't dumb. Like, the whole point of having Odysseus encounter the Cyclops was to show how clever and smart Odysseus was. And you can't really put him up against a dumb villain to show him outsmarting that character and have it work the way you want it to work. So the idea of just big dumb Cyclops is something that makes me sad. The other hand, though, something that a lot of Dungeons and Dragons settings have done is they've combined the concept of the Cyclops with ogres. So you have general generic ogres, but you also have ogre magi, and ogre magi are generally cyclopean. And so it's like the Cyclops are actually like a part of overall ogre culture that has the wisdom, and they're like the shaman of the ogre culture, which I think is still pretty cool. Although in traditional D&D, this goes back to second edition, super nerd showing. Actually, in second edition Dungeons and Dragons, ogre magi were also very Eastern Asian coded, which could be problematic in its own right. But they were more like Oni than ogres. Anyway, that is our Cyclops. So let's pop the wheels back open again, shall we? I'm going to take the Cyclops off the wheel, and we'll take Farmer off the wheel. If I can find where it's at: cheerleader, police officer, firefighter, milk delivery specialist, lawyer, school teacher, pizza delivery guy. Where's Farmer? Did I set this up to automatically come off the wheel? Maybe cheerleader, police officer, firefighter, milk delivery specialist, doctor, lawyer, school teacher, Farmer. There it is. So we'll take those off, and we will go ahead and spin the wheel for our next sticker. All right, so I've got currently on this list, I've got orc, troll, bugbear, little green men, mummy, classic gray alien, skeleton, fish person, and minotaur. Spin. Do. Boop. Classic gray alien. Oops. Go away. We didn't mean for you to spin twice. All right, and costume time. Barista. Classic gray alien dressed as a barista. And this is going to be a bonus. This is a bonus drawing, so I'm going to come down here. Oops, done. And clear you out and replace you with alien barista. Yay! This will be fun. I actually, when I was putting together my list, I was like just doing going through a listicle on like job costumes. Right? The idea was that I was looking for costumes that people wore that are recognizable as the profession. So I found a listicle of job costumes and I saw barista on it and I was like, barista. You're basically, it's like this alien wants you to read its screenplay. Okay, so we'll start with a domy head. Like so. And I think I'm going to have it facing, actually the Cyclops was facing the other direction. So we'll have it face to the left. There's its little something like that. And then the grays are super long and skinny, so we'll do real skinny body. Maybe a little turn to it. So arm coming across like this. Oops. I think that's it. That's even probably like too much arm. Like there we go. That's more like what I'm looking for arm. And then have it holding a little tray with a coffee cup. Have the other arm coming up and do the like holding it with both arms. And then of course wearing an apron. And is it a visor? They wear little visors at the coffee place. Like that. Big ol' eyes. Little tiny mouth. And I'm thinking like baggy jeans and a wallet chain. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but that's what I'm thinking. So that's going to be my basic silhouette there. Let's go ahead and come in here and do a little detailed drawing, a little detailed sketch. I'm going to start with the eyes because that's like the most important aspect. And I almost want the eyes to be like pointed on the ends. Like so. And just going to draw this like little thing to make it show how it's rounded. Like that. And then how about little face hole nostrils? Like that. A little flat mouth. What type of... I want the mouth to be small. Don't know about visor, but definitely an apron. I feel like the Starbucks uniform is either a ball cap or a visor. And I think a visor with the gray dome sticking out would be the better of those two options. A little tiny mouth. Like so. And we'll bring this visor up. Like this. So that the head will stick out. Little neck. Definitely apron ready. And I like that the apron is like way wider than the body. That's also just a thing I find funny. Hand coming over like this. And just a couple of fingers. Now we're getting into like some Strange World territory, I feel like. If you're not familiar with Strange Planet, it is a fun little cute webcomic about aliens that just do normal people things. But the art style is very cute. And the dialogue often uses like... Well, one of the most famous like pieces of dialogue from the comic is like they refer to teeth as mouth stones. So it's like everything's just a little bit off, but it's human behavior that's just a little different. And it's really cute. It's a really cute comic. Nathan Pyle, I believe, is the artist behind it. He had his own TV series or like cartoon based on it for a little while. I think it was on Apple TV, maybe. Something like that. Again, like I said, I don't know why wallet chain, but it just feels right to me. Wallet chain does. So I'm actually going to bring this down. and have it, the pants come around, and just super baggy jeans. I might be completely like dating myself here when I talk about like baggy jeans and wallet chains. This might be a very 90s thing. But it's probably been, I would say, probably not the 90s, but maybe the early aughts since the last time I went to a coffee store and hung out, like a coffee shop and hung out. One of those ways I'm gonna feel old from doing this stream. And then how about some little like Chuck Taylor style shoes here? And not just because they're, in my opinion, the easiest shoes to draw, but it just feels like the character should be wearing Chuck Taylor shoes. And then we need to give this coffee shop maybe a little symbol, like maybe a little coffee cup on the apron. Something like that. How's that look? How what do you think? That actually makes me want to watch Resident Alien with Alan Tudyk. I have not watched Resident Alien, which is weird because I'm a huge Alan Tudyk fan, and it really does look like a show I would love. It's on my watch list and I haven't made it to it yet. I should do that. I should make a point of doing that. I'm going to probably have more time to watch some TV shows and get caught up on some of these things in another month or so. Right now, I'm little busy. Although, there's also a good chance that I might have to get a part-time job or something. Make logo an alien face. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. So we'll come down here and just do... How about an alien face with a cup of coffee? Maybe not. Gotta remember that's not going to read super well at the size. Yeah, I can't imagine it's bad. Like, I've heard a lot of really great things about it. I just need to get it watched. I'm actually going to draw in the head first here. Okay. You'll do this right eventually, Matt. This is one of those things. I'm not letting myself have any leeway. Bring the visor around like that. Ah. There we go. Oh, there. And then have this come up and back down. There. That looks like a barista. Little nostrils. Little mouth. Okay, this is too much fun. Okay. I've been really having a lot of fun drawing lately, and that's kind of the point, I know, but like, it doesn't always feel that way. And I think I'm gonna, I've got this idea. We're gonna come down here like this. So like, this apron is tied around the waist. to make it tight with the little tiny skinny body. Anyway, I know the whole idea is to have fun when you're drawing, but that's not always true. It's like not always the case. Sometimes it's a slog, it's a grind, you gotta get stuff done. But honestly, the last like couple of weeks I've been having a lot of fun with the drawing. The Stinktober challenge has really kind of reinvigorated my love of just drawing stupid, dumb things, which is something that always adds a lot more fun to the whole aspect. And I really have been having a good time with that. And I feel like I've made some things that I actually like think of as art. I know I don't always give myself the most grace when it comes to the art I make. And a lot of times my doodles are just doodles. I mean, it's the style that I embrace. But like the haunted chicken that I did, I printed one off for myself as an art print. I have one. And I really like it. I think it hit me in the same way that like my zombie sunset digital painting did, where it just kind of made me feel like a legitimate artist. And like I said, a lot of the time I get imposter syndrome. And so I don't always feel like a legitimate artist. And so when I get a piece that really resonates with me like that, it makes me feel good. I enjoy it. All right. But it kind of, that whole process has kind of just, that challenge has just restored, like, I don't know. I think it's so much because there's like a community of people who are doing these dumb little doodle designs, and some of them are really amazing artists. And it just kind of reminds me that like, this is a thing, like this is an art form and not just a weird little dumb thing. Because so many of the challenges I do are like Inktober, where a lot of the artists are like super serious artists. And I love that gritty, dark ink style, but it's so not who I am as an artist. And so doing challenges like that a lot of the times makes me feel inadequate. And Chris Piazik's challenge is really like, a lot of his art is the art. I love his work also, but a lot of his art is also very dumb. Like it's a farting butt, you know, like that's the type of thing that he draws. And it makes me feel like, reminds me that this is like a legitimate thing. Like it's a legitimate art form, that cartoons are real and have an impact on our world. So, yeah. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough of me ranting about like my weird emotional headspace right now. Let's draw a wallet chain. Boop. Way thicker wallet chain than what a wallet chain actually would be. That's just the nature of how cartoons work. Also, I might have to close my window because my neighbors are playing music very, very loud, which probably means they're working outside. Tend to play loud music when they're working outdoors. And I don't blame them. Music makes the work go better. Or easier, anyway. And I normally really don't mind because their music is actually pretty good. So I normally don't mind hearing it. It's all mostly all classic 80s hair metal. And whereas I'm not necessarily an 80s hair metal kind of guy, I can appreciate it. That is way bigger than I intended it to be, but it's there now. We're living with it. We're living with it. All right. Let's draw in this alien mascot on the apron. Okay. All right. This is looking pretty good. I'm not super 100% happy with the way the chain turned out, but that's okay. We can get rid of it. Sometimes you just gotta delete your art. Nothing you ever draw is that precious. If it's that precious, then you wouldn't have drawn it on an iPad with an Apple Pencil. You would have etched it in stone with some sort of enchanted chisel and a magic hammer that was bequeathed to you by the deities on high. Maybe just do a simple... I won't read. Let's leave it like that. That looks... I like it. I like it a lot. I think this looks great. All right, Alien Barista, let's give you some color. Obviously, classic grays are gray. Maybe a little lighter gray. Like that. Just tap in some little gray skin tone. Neck. We'll give him a white t-shirt under the apron. And then, of course, coffee aprons are green. And that means the visor is green. And we'll do some blue jeans. White on these chucks here. And let's do some like bright red Chuck Taylor shoes. I'm also going to add one little line there, just enough to imply that he's wearing shoelaces. And then we'll come in here. A little alien mascot head. Can be a blue-gray. And we'll add black to the nostrils, like with the mouth. But I'm going to, instead of using a solid black, just use a really dark gray on the eyes so that I can do some shading and highlights on them. And we'll do like a brown tray and a white ceramic coffee cup. And we'll grab a light gray here and do some little steam clouds coming out of the coffee cup. So something like this. This. That. And then we'll go even lighter gray. Oops. And fill those in. Like that. So a little bit of color in the line art. It's not normally my style, but I like it for the steam. And then we'll come up here to the next layer. And let's do some shadows, some shading. So we'll come down like this and just do the side of the face, the neck. And then we can turn that to multiply. And then on the eye, we'll do kind of something like this. To really imply that shadow of the orb on the eye. Like the eyes protrude a little bit from the face, like a bug eye does. Like that. And I think I'm going to just do that like that. Come up like this. There we go. And then we'll do something like across here. Yeah, this looks pretty good. This isn't too bad. Bring this up like this. Same here. Just come across like that. Kind of fall in. And maybe we'll just do like a little bit of shading to curve this apron. Like that. And a lot more, I think, on the bottom half. So let's do that. That looks pretty good. All right, and then obviously it needs to come down. Like this on the bottom half of the body. And we'll do something a little bit like this coming across like this. Over here. There we go. There we go. I think that's a good looking little alien. Brings a lot to the whole little world here. I'm going to... Oops. I did all of that shading on the wrong layer. That's okay. We'll duplicate this. Release that reference. Switch that to multiply. Hide all of that, and then just real easy like get rid of all of the gray. Why is this not working? On this layer. See, because the reference thingy is working funny again. Dang it. All right, there's an easy way to do this too. Release reference. Let's tag all the gray and erase it. What a pain. Make sure you're working on the right layer. If you're ever working, just work on the right layer and you won't have any problems. And I know every artist in the world goes through this when they work digitally. But it's a pain in the butt. There we go. Now, while I'm here, I should probably add some shading to this coffee cup. While we're at it, just kind of make that look a little better. Same with the underside of this tray. Oh, that sounds good. BLTs and sweet potato fries. I think we're having chicken wings for dinner. I don't know what type yet. Yeah, I do. We're just gonna have chicken wings and macaroni and cheese because the Chiefs play tonight. That's what's going on. There's a Chiefs game, so always eat the foods that we eat. All right. Gotta have those good luck foods. I like sweet potato fries. I don't have them nearly often enough, in my opinion. What do you think of the classic gray alien barista we got going on here? I do need to come in here and just draw in some little highlights on these eyes. Give that shininess a chance. And we'll set that to screen. Turn the opacity down. We don't want it quite that bright. There we go. Makes sense. There's a Royals game tonight too. See if we take down the Yankees type of series. Good luck. I saw that you were having a rant. Pretty iconic. All right. That's going to be our alien barista. So we've got 2 characters done tonight. And I'm feeling pretty good about them. So we've done an alien barista and a Cyclops farmer so far. And I think they look great. I'm going to resize this dude. So it might be time to roll again. Boom. All right, so we'll start. We got to take the costumes off. If anyone would like to add a costume or a monster to the list, now would be a good time to do it while I am in here editing the lists. I'm trying to avoid, if I can, monsters that are copywritten by Wizards of the Coast / Mattel. And I'm trying kind of to stick to humanoid monsters. But if you want to go ahead and add a monster to the list, you've got a little bit of time. I'll give you guys just a couple of minutes to make any adds that you want to add. And then I'm going to spin for the next monster. We weren't robbed in that game. Royals could have won if they'd played even just a little bit better. There were just 2 really bad calls that were so blatant that it is all any of the commenters could talk about after the game. Yeah, that's last weekend. The Chiefs squeaked by a win, but they didn't win the game. The other team lost it. So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and spin our monster wheel here. How about a blob? I can add a blob. I add a blob real fast before I spin. Before I spin, I'll add a blob. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And C11 equals blob. I called it a blob slime monster because it'll probably be more like a plasmoid type thing since it's going to be dressed in a person outfit. But let's go ahead and spin the monster wheel. Spin, spin, spin. Spin, spin, spin. Spin, 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 spin. Troll! Oops. I did not mean to spin you twice. All right, now let's spin the costume wheel. Spin, 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 spin. Milk delivery specialist. A troll milk person. This will be fun. All right. Let's, oops. Clean this off real fast. Erase. troll milk delivery. There we go. All right. So let's see. With a troll, we're going to have something like a legs forward kind of scenario. Maybe big clawed feet kind of thing. Then you have this leg come back a little bit. And then curved spine for hunching over. I was just had this hilarious image of basically the Pokemon Muck wearing a fast food uniform from the 80s. Okay, yeah, that could be pretty funny, actually, yeah. Give him a little bent over-y shape here like this. Head coming off like this. Long old nose. Arm hanging down. Carrying that milkman thingy with all the milk in it. Like that. And then I think I'm going to actually pull him back. Oops. He's on the same layer as my text. Cut him out. Pull him back so we can have him doing a little wave with the left arm. Like that. Ooh, and then the question becomes, what size ears do trolls have? I know milkmen wear little white suits with ties and a hat. And I want a reference art of a milkman uniform. I could actually see the little Muck, like full McDonald's fast food worker, and like wearing the little visor and standing right at the camera, like, and like a commercial, you know. That's what pops into my head. Oh, not a normal tie, a bow tie. Yeah, bow tie. And it looks like trolls have ears that are pretty big. So that's going to be our raw silhouette there. And we'll grab our detail brush and let's do some detail drawing here. 80s Burger King brown and gold. Yeah. But definitely like in a commercial where they talk about how their future started by working fast food. I don't know why, but I decided to give him giant nose hair. Just now, as I was doing it. And then let's give him, I want like a dopey looking face. Something like this. And tusks, obviously. Big ol' ears. And I think their hats are kind of squared off. Oh, they've got policeman style caps. Yeah. Where it's like More like comes out like this and comes back. Like that. I did not intend for this to look this much like Waluigi. Jean-Yves. How's it going? Yeti, how's it doing? You've missed out on 2 stickers so far. So far we've done classic gray barista and a Cyclops farmer. And now we are doing a troll dressed as a milkman. Actually, I have his little bow tie up here. Like his neck comes off of his head like this. He's got a hunched back. Coming around. His pants come out like that. Coming across. He's definitely wearing a black belt. They all wear black belts, apparently, is a thing, is part of the uniform. Milk troll. We'll do a little bit of, like, blanching on the shirt there. I think that's the term I'm looking for, where it sticks out a little from the body. Bring this other leg around and down. Like that. All right, I like this guy. I like him a lot. Little pointed feet. Dope. There we go. How am I going to do this other foot? It should have come back farther. So I'll come in here and I'll just chop this leg off at the knee and rotate it so it's a little more bent. This is still the sketching phase. We can get away with a lot of stuff like that. And have it bent forward so he's walking like that. Then we'll come over here and do some big pointy fingers coming out of the arm. And then down here, have our handle on the milk basket. Like this. There we go. Then we can erase this off like this. There, that's not too... Ah! Those are the live brushes. They're for fun things like watercolor and oil paints. And then come across... Guess I could have hidden that foot behind this milk basket. Milk bottles. We'll have this say milk on it, I think. That'll be fun. So we'll come in here and I'll just erase that. And have this say milk. I feel like that's an old-timey thing. Like, you can't just carry a basket around. You gotta have it say what it is on the basket. Definitely looks more like Waluigi than I intended to, but I think it works pretty well. This is a pretty good little drawing. Maybe we'll do some monster teeth on the upper teeth. And maybe he'll look less, get rid of that nose hair that I gave him for no reason at all whatsoever. And maybe it'll look less like Waluigi then. Still looks a lot like Waluigi, but a little bit less. Little less like Waluigi. It's basically all you can ask for. You know, in the world of things that can look like things, Waluigi is basically a troll. And I mean that kind of in the internet troll sense. I'm pretty sure that character is created just to troll players. So we'll do that with a little... I want the nose to be pointed. So I'm actually going to draw through it. So we get a good point on it. When I use the trimming tool. And then I'm going to bring these eyes a little more heavy brow. Talking about another creature, so when I was talking earlier about the Cyclops being a creature that is just a big dumb guy that hits things in D&D, the troll is a big dumb guy that hits things, and then when you kill it, it starts hitting you again. That's what makes the troll unique. And if anything was aptly named on the internet, internet trolls were probably the thing that got named aptly. I'm over here trying to look more like Waluigi. You're going to have to grow a mustache. That's the secret sauce that you're missing out on. You need a mustache. All right, and little hat. Bring the neck back around like this so we can draw in that bow tie. That's not how you draw a bow tie, Matt. Bow ties are like this. Bow ties, butterflies, they're all the same thing in the world of cartoons. And all right. Back hunch, oops. Coming down around to that leg. Go ahead and keep that flow like that. Then we'll just come in here, draw in that little bit of extra shirt fluff. Then just little pieces of belt. Happy little pieces of belt. So I always liked Bob Ross. This is a tangent. I'm going on a tangent now. I always liked Bob Ross. He's like proto ASMR, and he's one of those people who told us the world was always going to be a happy little place. And I don't think he was lying to us. I think he was just choosing to believe in a world that was a happy little place. But most importantly, what I have learned since I have started drawing in front of an audience is when you have to keep talking while drawing, sometimes your brain has to get shut off to make drawing decisions. And so you just say goofy stuff like, happy little tree, having a happy little nap. Time for this little tree to have a little dream. Little dream time tree. Happy little troll fingers. The troll fingies are where it's at. You can't beat troll fingers. It's just the way the world is sometimes. So, I have a whole new respect for Bob Ross. I actually recently saw a YouTuber who is an art tuber who is a classical painter. And the entire video was like, I used to give Bob Ross, like, talk crap about Bob Ross and the Bob Ross painting style till I actually watched a video of Bob Ross painting and realized that he did all of that in like 25 minutes. And then I was like, oh my God, this guy's like a master of speed painting. and was never trying to be like, I'm a great artist. He's like, the whole point of Bob Ross is that he was trying to make it look like anyone could be an artist. So like, Bob Ross purposely made bad paintings. And I was like, that's the whole idea, is the joy of paint. The joy of creating. The Bob Ross method. All right. Milk. Milk, 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 milk. How many of you out there remember the awesome Adult Swim poorly translated cartoon Super Milk Chan? I remember Super Milk Chan, and it was a great show. I enjoyed it a lot. It was very funny. It had some really stupid parts to it, which is exactly up my alley. Also, if you notice, I got my captions working again today. I had to completely redo all of that after I lost. I had to redo my computer the other day. I'm hoping I don't have to redo my computer ever again. Like, I'm using my Ubuntu Studio install probably 80% of the time now. The only real problem is that my Silhouette does not work well using the Inkscape cutting thing. I've tried and I just can't get it to work well. So when I need to make stickers, I have to go back to Windows. You remember Super Milk Chan? It was a great show. We used to watch it a lot. Kids today will never know what they're missing out on, because they'll never be able to see Super Milk Chan or Attack of the Show. I was lamenting the loss of Attack of the Show the other day because it was the only news program I ever actually cared about watching. All right. Troll hands. So, Paramin, I don't know if you saw my video about doing the Neurospicy Frankie, but in it, I make a reference to, I tried to make him looking sad at his hands, as if to say, they look like such good, strong hands, to invoke that level of sorrow. And I was like, there's only one person probably on the planet who will know exactly what I mean when I say good, strong hands, levels of sorrow. All right. Bring you back to center. I like to recenter my art sometimes. Makes me happy. That's going to be our line art for our milk troll. Let's color him in. Milk troll is going to be easy to color. There's not a lot of decisions to be made here because Milkman outfits are very basic. They wear basically solid white with black bow tie, black belt, and then they wear white hats with a black visor. So the only thing we have to do is, oops, something's not closed. We have to decide what color our troll is going to be, which really comes down to asking the question, what particular flavor of troll would work on a dairy farm, right? Like, are we going with like a wood troll? Are we going with swamp troll? Are we going with an ice troll? I guess basically what I'm saying is we have to choose between blue or green. Do we want a blue troll or a green troll? I think I'm going to go with blue, and I'm going to use the same kind of like sky blue, tealish color that I use for my daily zombie. And just make him a little like little blue troll dude here. I think that's what I'm going to go with. Eyes in there, and then we can do a little light gray for the metal on the milk canister here. I think maybe that handle should be made of wood, like that. And then we'll bring back that light gray and do the box. Like so. Do. Sometimes in life you just got to color in lots of little square spaces. And then we'll make the circles that represent milk bottles in a somewhat abstract way white. I was gonna vote blue before you said it. I appreciate that. We'll make the milk red. Not that the milk is red, but like the milk wording will be red. It's not like we're George Lucas up here going, you know it's space because the milk is red. That milk is blue. You ever seen the Netflix series Hilda? It's like Adventure Time vibes, but the setting is modern Norway and all Norse mythology is real. I have not, but that definitely seems like it's right up my alley. Does she have to face a troll? Is that where that's coming from? You know what I just did? I just put all of that color on the wrong layer again. So we'll duplicate that layer, release the reference, hide you, and you, so that I can see what needs to be decolored. Like there. Sometimes you just do dumb things. Yeah, there are hella trolls in that show. In the Hilda movie, she gets turned into a troll. That sounds cool. That sounds like it's right up my alley. Is it a cartoon or is it live action? Because honestly, I could be into that either way. But you know I love me a good cartoon. Although my to-watch list is still pretty long at this point. I've been watching the Murdoch Files, which is a police procedural that takes place in Victorian Canada. Cartoon. Okay, I could definitely get behind a cartoon. Is the art style very Pemberton Ward like Adventure Time style art, or is it got its own flair? What's the art style situation like going on there? Not that everybody has to know what cartoon art styles are like. Guess that's not necessarily like a thing that everyone has as an understanding of their favorite cartoon artists. Dag nabbit. There. All right, I'm finally working on the right layer. The art style reminds me more of Gravity Falls, actually. Okay. I can dig that. I like Gravity Falls' art, too. But it's not Lovecraftian, and that's why it wasn't on the video I sent you. I found a video, like a video essay recently on YouTube about why children's shows have so many Lovecraftian villains. It was very interesting watch. If I remember, I can share the link to that video if I can remember, if I can find it again. it was a good watch. And the channel, I think, is a channel I am hoping to see more from, because I really liked their content. I liked what they did. And also, you suck me in anytime you mix like Lovecraft and cartoons, because those are two things I love. Cosmic horror, that is, not necessarily Lovecraft's views or opinions about the world. But, you know, we all have to separate art from artists these days. If you can, if you're okay with it. I don't blame you if you're not. I actually, just before the stream started, I was watching another YouTube video essay on the rise and fall of Scott Adams, who is the Dilbert creator. Mostly because I like to torture myself by learning things about people I used to really enjoy. And I had known for a long time that Scott Adams had become a bit of a D-bag. But it was still sad. Watching a reminder of all that happening again. The art style, or names he gives to cats. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what I was saying when you typed that in. There might be a delay that has thrown me off. Is names he gives to cats a reference to Lovecraft? Things you don't like about Lovecraft? I'm betting it was. Knowing you. Yeah, so anyway. Don't Google what Lovecraft named his cats is what was made. Okay, yeah. Especially if you're one of my younger audience members, don't Google anything about Lovecraft until you are at least a junior in high school. That's my personal advice. And then really avoid it in general. There are actually a lot of really great cosmic horror authors who are not H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah, a lot of their stuff is inspired by his work, but it's an entire genre of writing that has grown out from his beginnings. And really, if you want to know who has probably as much, if not more of an influence on modern cosmic horror, it's Stephen King. And yeah, Stephen King himself also has some problems, but he at least is still alive to go, I'm sorry I was such a D-bag. So definitely a thing that's my recommendation is, if you want to read some great cosmic horror, start with Stephen King. And I don't think enough people think of Stephen King when it comes to cosmic horror, but totally fits the bill. Really, like, way more than I think even most Stephen King fans realize. And then, of course, my personal favorite cosmic horror writer actually writes cosmic horror comedy is Jason Peregrine or David Wong, depending on which book of the series that you're reading. He got rid of his author name of David Wong a little while back. But he writes a book series that starts with a book called John Dies in the End, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a great series. And really, if you like urban fantasy and cosmic horror, there's a lot of really great cosmic horror themes in the Dresden Files. And I highly recommend that series also. Jim Butcher is that author. And if you have a good cosmic horror series that you think I should check out, leave a comment letting me know what you think I should watch. I would love to do it. The Great and Secret Show by Clive Barker is an excellent cosmic horror as well. That's a good point. Actually, Clive Barker is another great, like, existential dread body horror writer who I actually enjoy, which is rare for me. David Wong wrote a series that is basically just MA and Yeti Detective hang out on a weekend. It is very true. Definitely in our early 20s, our life was involved a lot of demonic possession and destroying like meat constructs. Butcher is semi-local. He's Kansas City. Which is something I will never, this is my rant. So as an urban fiction author, I have written some urban fiction books, don't read them, they're bad, that take place in Springfield, Missouri. But I actually grew up in Kansas City. I'm a Kansas City, Missouri native. And I kind of like to sometimes jokingly harp on Jim Butcher, because Butcher is also a Kansas City native, but he set his urban fantasy series in Chicago because he doesn't believe that Kansas City is a good enough city for an urban fantasy series. And I don't know that that's actually true. I couldn't honestly tell you that to be true. I just like to harp on it sometimes. All right. What do you think of our troll milkman? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he is actually, he might be from the Ozarks area, and he might live in Ozark now. But I know definitely when I discovered him, he was in Kansas City, and he was actually still at that time an active member of the Kansas City LARP community. So another reason to like him as a person, I guess. This is the Troll Milkman. I think it turned out great. I'm really enjoying this sticker pack. So we did 3 designs today. My guess is more that his publisher thought Chicago would be more recognizable. That's probably actually true. We've got a Troll Milkman. We've got a Cyclops farmer with a little pitchfork. And we have a classic gray alien barista. One of these designs is not like the other, but they were all fun to draw. I had a good time. I hope you had a good time watching and hanging out. Thanks everybody that came by and hung out, and definitely, like I said, if you have recommendations for other cosmic horror or just authors in general you think more people should know about, you can leave those in a comment on this video and tell people, go read this book. It's going to be great. On Wednesday, I will be back at 4 p.m. and we will draw some more monsters wearing people costumes. I'm planning to do, I left the aliens on this list, but I'm planning to actually do 5 like classic D&D style monsters for this sticker pack, and maybe we will do more aliens in general also. So come back Wednesday and we'll do at least 2 more of these little duders. We'll try to finish out the pack on Friday. If you are in the Springfield, Missouri area and you have not yet picked up an Anxiety Scarecrow, I will have roughly 50 of them on Thursday night, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the C Street City Market. Otherwise, you are going to have to join the Patreon, patreon.com/Taco Viking Studios, to make sure you get yours. If you come by and see me on Saturday, you can get an ADHD gremlin of your very own and get the second line of the poem. I have been Matt M.A. Brotherton. This has been Taco Viking Studios, drawing some, doodling some stickers. I've had a wonderful time.